The Real Mccoys, starring Walter Brennan, created by Irving Pincus.
Want you to meet the family known as the Real Mccoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb. And now here's Luke, who beams with joy since he made Kate Mrs. Luke McCoy. From West Virginia they came to stay in sunny California. Old Grandpappy Amos and the girls and the boys of the family known as the Real McCoys.
Here they are, everybody! Well, here he is. Here he is. My nephew. Ain't he all I said he was? Tom, meet my best friends, Miss McCoy, Luke, Kate, and Hattie.
Howdy, Tom. How are you?
George?
Well, Tom, as head of the McCoy family, I want to welcome you to our house and to California.
Won't you come inside and have some...
Excuse me, Kate. I ain't finished yet. Now, you're welcome to sit at our table any time. And for entertainment, I'm giving you permission to be taking out my granddaughter, Hattie, here.
Grandpa?
Boy's only here for a short spell. Can't waste time building up to things.
It'd be a pleasure, sir, to take out your granddaughter, and I appreciate this welcome you've extended.
Yeah, how long are you going to be visiting here, Tom? Oh, he'll be here for a couple of weeks. Then he's going ahead and enlist in the Navy.
Navy, huh? You know, there's been McCoys in the Navy as far back as when Admiral Dewey was a cabin boy. And heroes they was, too, all of them.
Well, I just hope I'm as good a sailor as I know those McCoys were.
Well, now, son, just don't you expect no miracles. You just do the best you can.
Well, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Drop back there. See you. So long.
Well, he sure is a nice boy.
In well mannered. Sure is good looking.
He sure is. You know, there ain't no family resemblance at all, is there?
And say, if you need anything like, maybe a little extra cash, you just say the word.
Thanks a lot, Uncle George, but I couldn't take any money from you.
Well, consider it a loan.
Well, it's very nice of you, but I like to stand on my own 2 feet and pay my own way.
Well, if that's the way you feel.
Oh, I do. Besides, being a farmer, I know money doesn't come easy to you.
No, it don't come easy, but I do all right.
Yeah, but with mortgages and payments and things.
Mortgages? Why, I've owned this place free and clear for a long time now.
Really? Why, a place like this must be worth about...
Well, I don't want to brag none, but if I wanted to sell it, it'd bring, $45,000, $50,000.
50? Yes. You've been my favorite relative for years, but I never thought you were a rich one, too. Gee, it's sure good to be with you, Pop.
Pop?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean Uncle George. It's just that I feel so close to you, like you were my father.
You just call me Pop anytime you want it. Sounded real good. Son.
Yeah, then we got the back 5 acres. Of course, that ain't too productive right now, but we're working on it.
Yeah, it's a real nice place, Luke.
Thank you.
This would be the life for me, getting close to the soil. There's something noble about it.
Well, it's mighty nice of you to say so.
You're a very fortunate man, Mr. McCoy.
Huh?
I mean, having Luke here as part of the family to help you out and kind of take over when you feel like retiring. Of course, I know that's a long way off.
Yeah, well, you say that again, but I gotta admit it is a kind of nice feeling to know that Luke will be around to sort of take charge.
Well, I better see if Hassie's ready. She's going to take me in town and show me around.
Well, I'll go in with you and try to hurry her up.
Well, let's see now. It's my move.
I didn't know you felt that way about farm.
George, will you quit your mumbling whilst I'm trying to think?
Well, I'm thinking, too. What I'm thinking about is more important than any old checker game.
Hi. Hi, Uncle George. You didn't have to wait up for me.
Well, it's still early, and I wanted to have a little talk with you.
Okay. Say, can I get you a glass of milk?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Tom, I was thinking about what you said today over at the Mccoys.
Said about what?
Well, about the way you like farming so much.
Well, I guess I've always felt that way, ever since I was a kid.
Then I think a man ought to do what he's got the most feeling for.
What do you mean, Pop?
Well, I mean that you ought to give up the idea of joining the Navy and settle down here and work the farm with me.
Well, I'm afraid it's not that easy.
Why not?
Well, you see, at my age, if I didn't enlist in the Navy, I'd be drafted.
Ooh.
Well, I'd better be getting to bed. You see, I wanted to get home early so I could get up and give you a hand in the morning.
They'd draft you, huh?
Yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, I'd be proud to go. I want to do my bit.
Oh, of course you would.
I mean, it's not like I'm a medical student or in some essential occupation.
Farming. Farming's an essential occupation. Why, we help to feed the country, don't we?
Oh, well, this friend of mine back home was working on a farm, and he wasn't drafted. But that was a different case.
What do you mean, a different case?
Oh, well, I think his grandfather or his uncle owned the farm he was working on, and the draft board felt that his grandfather or uncle was dependent on him, so they gave him a deferment. Well, see you in the morning, Uncle George.
Hi, doing, Tom?
Hi, Uncle George. Hi, Mr. McCoy.
Hi, Tom.
How are things in town?
Oh, fine and dandy. Right, Amos?
Hey, go on, tell him, George. Go ahead.
Tell me what, Uncle George?
Tom, I've just come from the draft board. They're going right back to Wichita and tell them I'm dependent on you. So it looks like it's all set for you to settle down here in the farm with me.
Gosh, I didn't know you were going to do that, Uncle George.
Well, I thought if you knew, you wouldn't let me go ahead and do it.
You see, Uncle George figured, well, maybe you wouldn't feel right about it.
Being as patriotic as you are.
Well, I do feel kind of funny about it.
I did right, didn't I, Tom?
Gosh, I don't know. If that's what you want.
That's what I want, so.
Then that's what I want.
Your cereal? Well, son, now that you're a regular member of the family, I want to talk to you about...
Salary?
Salary?
Well, you were going to offer me one, weren't you?
Well, I was meaning to talk about the schedule of chores, but, yeah, I guess we ought to talk about money, too.
I don't think I should get paid.
You don't?
Well, I'd feel like I was a stranger. After all, you wouldn't be paying your own son.
No, guess I wouldn't. Just give him a little spending money when he needed it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, then, that'll be what it is. And, of course, if you need some money for clothes or...
Well,
or
I don't have many clothes.
How much do you need?
Oh, about $300 ought to do it.
$300? Good Lordy, son, their work clothes don't cost that much.
Work clothes? Oh, of course not. Oh, what I was thinking about was a couple of regular suits and shirts and things.
Oh.
That's all right, Uncle George. Don't worry. Hassie must be used to going out with farmers. I really don't need anything but overalls and boots.
No, you can't go courting my best friend's granddaughter in work clothes. You need some fancy stuff.
No, really. Pop.
It's settled, son. I'll go write you out a check.
I hope you didn't mind me asking you to come over, Luke.
Oh, not at all, Tom.
Well, it's just that if you want to learn more about farming, why, ask an expert.
Well, I ain't exactly no expert.
The way you explain pruning those trees and your idea about running bigger pipes irrigation ditch, well, that's expert advice as far as I'm concerned. You see, what I thought I'd do, Luke, was that...
Oh! What's the matter? What happened?
Oh, sprained my arm this morning lifting grain sacks. It isn't too bad.
Oh. Here now, you better take it easy.
I told Uncle George I'd get this wood sawed.
Well, now, you don't want to make that arm worse. Let me give you a hand now.
That's sure nice of you, but I hate to impose.
Not at all. That's what neighbors are for.
20. I know $30 is a lot of money for a sweater, but the way the clerk said it'd hold up, be cheaper in the long run.
That makes sense. I don't hold with being pennywise and pound foolish. 25, 30.
By the way, I've got another date with Hassie tonight.
You have, eh? Where are you taking it?
Oh, just for a walk. I thought I'd split a hot dog with her down at the train depot.
Train depot? That ain't no place to take a girl. You take her to that fancy Chinese restaurant, and then go dancing.
Well, Uncle George,
Here's 10.
Thanks, Uncle George. But we don't really need to go dancing.
Oh, sure you do. Another 10.
It's just short of an even 100.
Well, let's make it even. We McCoys always wear sports.
Well, thanks, Pop. Hey, look at that time. I better start on that pipe trench.
Oh, say, that was a great idea of yours.
Oh, well, it just sort of came to me. Well, I'll get the shovel. Oh.
What's the matter?
Well, I promised Luke I'd give him a little help today.
Help Luke? With what?
Plowing. You see, he fell a little behind, and he didn't want his grandpa to know about it. Well, I thought it'd be kind of neighborly to give him a hand. That's if it's all right with you.
Oh, of course it's all right with me. Why, giving a fella a helping hand is a good trait.
Well, don't say anything about this. Luke might feel kind of funny about anyone knowing.
Our secret.
Well, I'll try and get back and help you, Pop.
Okay, son.
Well, howdy, George.
Hi, Amos.
Say, putting that pipe in this field's sure going to make a lot of difference here.
Yeah, it sure will. You know what, Amos? It was all Tom's idea.
Yeah, well, that's good thinking. Oh, say, I meant to ask you, how's his arm?
His arm? Well, it was all right last time I saw him.
I heard he sprained it. I heard it from Luke.
Well, now, what do you know about that? He didn't tell me because he didn't want me to worry none. What a fine boy. And you know what he did?
There you go, bragging again.
Sprained arm and all, he sawed us up a heap of firewood.
Huh?
I said sprained arm and all, he sawed us up a heap of firewood.
That's what I thought you said.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, nothing. Well, I can't stand here gabbing with you all day. Luke's done gone to town. He done took the day off, and I got a lot of work to do.
Huh?
I said Luke done took the day off. He's going into town, and I got a lot of work to do.
Thought you said. How's Luke doing with the plowing?
Plowing? Well, he done finished that 2 weeks ago. Well, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
That Tom sure is a hard-working, industrious young man, ain't he?
Yeah. Hassie's been seeing quite a lot of them, too, ain't she?
She sure has. Every night but last night. He had to go to the library to do some studying.
Studying?
Agriculture. He studied up on scientific planting.
Is that what he said?
Well, that's what he told Hassie. Why?
Well, I've been meaning to tell you something all day, but I just couldn't get myself to it. On the way to the Grange meeting last night, I passed the pool hall. Tom was inside there, studying how to scientifically plant the 8-ball in the side pocket. Yeah, he was gambling, too. Didn't take much asking around to find out that hard-working, industrious Tom lost himself $75.
Oh, Luke, $75?
That sore arm of his might have throwed his game off, but I got a feeling that he was lying about that, too. Just to get me to do his sawing for him.
But this is terrible. We've got to say something to somebody.
I've been meaning to tell Grandpa.
Well, somebody's got to tell George.
Now, that ain't gonna be easy. I wouldn't want to be the one to tell George that the apple of his eye has got itself a worm in it.
Here's some coffee for you, Grandpa.
Yeah, Kate, thank you. Cassie's out with Tom tonight, is she?
Yes, she is, Grandpa.
Something bothering you, Grandpa?
Well, if I gotta spell it out for you, I ain't happy about it. I don't want my granddaughter keeping company with no liar. You know that good song you done for Tom?
Yeah?
Well, now he'd let on to George like he done it himself. Now, any fellow who'll tell lies about little things, you can be goddamn sure he'll tell lies about bigger things.
Well, I think you're right, Grandpa. Because I found out a few things about Tom myself. He got himself mixed up with a bad bunch in town, and he's been gambling.
Gambling?
Well, that's right. Luke told me last night he lost $75 playing pool.
$75? Why, that's enough to make a grown man cry, Luke.
Come in.
Well, George.
George, nice of you to come over.
George.
Surprise.
Yeah. What brings you over?
It's been our checker night 4 years running. Why the surprise?
Well, we just surprised that you was here on time, that's all. Come on. Come on. Come on now. Make yourself at home.
Well, I can take a hint.
What hint is that, Luke?
Well, George, I know that you and Grandpa got some things you want to talk about alone. See you later, George.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about, Amos?
Well, George, I got something I want to say. It's your move. You know, George, the way you moved that chickie reminded me of the time us Mccoys found out that we had a cousin that was a horse thief.
The way I moved this checker reminded you of that?
Well, kinda. Say, how's your nephew?
He's fine.
You sure about that, George, huh?
Amos, why don't you come out and say what you want to say? That he ain't the nice, lovable boy that I thought he was. That I've been bamboozled and taken in by him. And that he lied to me every step of the way. And the only reason he come here probably was to keep himself from being drafted. Now, that's what you wanted to tell me, wasn't it?
Well, I'm sure glad I got that off my chest.
Nothing happened. Just time to rise and shine. Now, first thing this morning, you're hauling some sacks of grain.
Oh, well, I can't. I promised Luke I'd give him a hand this morning.
Oh, now, ain't that too bad? But a promise is a promise. And if you promised Luke...
Good morning, George. Good morning, Tom. Say, I just come by to tell Tom I wouldn't be needing his help today. I can handle things by myself.
You see, now you can start hauling them grain sacks. You're doing a fine job, Tom. Fine job.
Yes, sir, you sure are. Good old farm work. And like you said, that's real noble.
Yeah, and we'd help you, only we know how much you like farm work, and we don't want to take none of that fun away from you, see?
You sure got a nice, powerful stroke there, Tom. I'd like to give you a hand, but I kind of sprained my shoulder this morning.
My shoulder's sprained, too?
So's mine. You know, I never noticed sprained shoulder could be so kitschy. You see, George, don't you feel just kind of guilty of sitting here playing checkers while Tom is tending to all the chores in the farm?
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle George?
Hi, son.
Uncle George, I've been thinking.
Thinking about making some improvements around here? Well, no, that's fine.
Oh, that sure is. You know, I like to see a boy who's ambitious. How about digging a new well or yanking out some of them old tree stumps?
No, that isn't exactly what I was thinking about.
No, what was it?
I feel like I'm shirking my duty, not being in the service, I mean.
Shirking your duty? Why, the boy ain't got no cause to feel that way, now has he?
No, of course not. He's doing his duty to you. His poor Uncle George is always dependent on him.
But Uncle George, my country needs me.
Yeah, but I need you, and you ain't got no cause to feel guilty. So just go out and finish up cleaning the picture.
But Uncle George, I think it's my patriotic duty to join the Navy.
You know, it is kind of hard to fight patriotism. It's un-American, too.
Well, I hate to see you go, son. If that's what you want, son.
That's what I want.
Then that's what I want.
Uncle George, I think that Uncle Sam can take care of things from here on out.